Welcome guys to my channel. My name's Alejandra. I'm a travel nurse. I've been doing travel nursing for a year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in travel years it's like 7 years of experience, kind of like dog years. No, I'm just kidding. But really, I'm trying to give you guys, through my own personal experience, tips to becoming or making the hassle of traveling from state to state a little bit easier. Also, I'm in Hawaii right now doing my this will be my 4th travel assignment, so I do have a little bit of experience. Also, going from the mainland to the island, it's very different. I wouldn't say difficult, but it is very different. So today I'm going to start with Hawaii, so why not? So I started doing travel nursing almost a year ago. I'm from Arizona. I have a compact license. Compact license means that it's there's multiple states that are under the same licensure. So for some states you don't have to apply for that license and get a new one. You can just go travel to that state and work as if you were working from home or from your home state. But Hawaii is not that way. Hawaii is what's called a walk-through state. So that, I think, it's misconstrued a lot, and especially in my case, I took for granted the whole walkthrough timeline. So I took for advantage how much time you actually needed, or what the purpose and the paperwork was for you to get your license here. So come prepared. I had I had just came back. I was working in Atlanta and I came back and I traveled to Sacramento to get my California license. Prepared really well for that, and for some reason I didn't find that I prepared that way for Hawaii. And because of the whole walkthrough state where they say it takes 1 day for you to get your license, but it does not. So for one, you have to apply, you should apply at least, I want to say, like a few weeks in advance. So there is an application that you can either download on the internet. You can fill it out. It's actually you can just fill it out on the internet itself, the form, print it and mail it in. Or you can just hand in your application while you're here. That's one. I printed the form, I filled out the form, printed it, and brought it with me when I arrived here on the island, which the Board of Nursing for Hawaii is in Oahu. So you have to fly into the island in order to do your licensing. One. Two, the cost of the license, it will tell you certain amounts. It will tell you the breakdown, but when I did the breakdown, it gave me, I basically overspent, and I had a money order from back in Arizona. And so basically I have to keep that money order because it was no good, because they don't deal with cash transactions. So I had to go get another money order, which wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was, because it's more money, but it wasn't that big of a deal because they have a UPS establishment right underneath the office of the Board of Nursing. So for me, for the cost of my license was $216. Then you have to apply, before you come out here, you have to apply to what's called a nurses, NURSYS application verification for your license, and you go state by state. So you go into the nurses.com website, you find the state that you're trying to verify your license for, you click on it, and each verification will cost you $30. So for Hawaii, it cost me $30, and I believe you have to do it within a month time frame of when you want to send in your application. So I did that the day before I left for the island. Not the best idea. Then, and I will let you know why. Then you also have to get fingerprinted. So the fingerprints, unlike California, you can do basically it's a live scan fingerprinting, meaning that it's not the traditional where you go get your fingerprints done and you have to roll it on a piece of paper on the actual card itself at a police station. So what you do is you go onto the website where you're looking for your application, and it's this thing called Field Print or something like this, and you have to go by appointment. And I did this the day that I was leaving on my airplane to come to the island. So again, not a very good idea. So what you have to do is you have to set up the appointment. You have to pay $50 in advance, I believe. Yeah, in advance. You go, you get your fingerprints done through a machine, through like a computer. They verify it, and that's that. So those are the three things that you should do before coming out here to the island: filling out your application and send it in, doing your nurse's verification online, which costs $30. Then you should do your background check, fingerprint, $50 before you come out here. And I want to say at least a week before, maybe 2 weeks before. Because once I got here, I had done it the Wednesday. I had done the nurse's verification on a Wednesday, and I came out here Thursday night. So Friday, I went to go pick up my temporary application, and the fingerprints or the nurses had not been cleared yet. Basically, the results hadn't came back, so I was not able to get my temporary license until the fingerprints go through. So that put me in a bind because I started work, and they're closed Saturday and Sunday, like any other board of nursing. So they close on Saturday and Sunday, and they were supposed to open up again on Monday. I come Monday, still it did not go through, and now I'm freaking out because Tuesday I'm supposed to go show up to work. Well, guess what? I couldn't go show up to work. I missed the first day of orientation, and now I'm in Hawaii. I've paid for the lease on my apartment. I've spent the money for the money order and the airplane ticket, and now I don't even know if I have a job. So it can get stressful. So for you to be able to not have that much stress, I would recommend you doing those steps in advance for sure. So they are very nice there. They are very nice there. They will work with you. Also, talk to your travel agency. You have got to be as clear with them as possible, because they will then contact the hospital and try to get you somewhere. Like get the process going, try and see if they can be a little bit more lenient or not. So, with that being said, that's a lot of information already. So yes, so the walkthrough part of it is not as a walkthrough as it may seem. So just be a little bit more cognizant of the time and give yourself a little bit more time. I came out here, like I said, I had asked around and I said, well, when's the good time to come out here? And they said, oh, just go out the Wednesday before your travel assignment starts to settle in. So I came in on a Thursday. It was later. The sun goes down here pretty early. It's winter time, technically. So it did go down pretty early. So the whole first Thursday, I had no clue what to do. So really, I was only here from Friday on. I would recommend you come in at least a week before your travel assignment starts. One, because in case you have any hiccups with the travel with the Board of Nursing, you can take care of that. Two, so how to get to the Board of Nursing. So the Board of Nursing is a beautiful building. It's actually shared offices of different licensing offices, so it's not just the Board of Nursing. So right now, you have the space. If you were to rent a car to get there, the space for you to park outside is very limited. Very limited. I'm talking about maybe a few spots. I don't want to say few because, yeah, it's very little space in order to park there. Also, you have to pay for parking, which is in that, I believe it's about $2.50 or something like that for an hour, which isn't that bad. And then, so that's how to get there. So, how to get around in Hawaii. There are a few options. One, the number one option is for you to ride the bus. I had a very hard experience riding the bus. I've never in my life have had, well, I lie. I did have to ride the bus when I was young with my family, but I don't remember, obviously, because my parents used to do all the directions. But I've been very fortunate enough to have a vehicle to get me from point A to point B. Don't criticize me. But here, it's a little bit different. So here, when I first arrived here, I knew I had to do a lot of running around, especially after the first day and all the hiccups. So I rented a car. And I rented a car through this application called Turo, which is Turo. And what it is, it's like an Uber. No, it's like a Airbnb or something of that nature, to rent a car from a local from here. You rent their car, they have their insurance that you pay for a day, but it's much cheaper than renting a car from an agency like Hertz. So for per day, I think it was costing me $20 after, maybe $23 after taxes. So what you have to do is you have to rent the car through Turo. You have to download the application. And we can go into a whole nother video about how to operate Turo. But your option is Turo. Look it up. Then you have obviously you can Uber it, or yeah, you can Uber it. But Uber here on the island is very expensive. I'm talking to go 4 miles, it could cost you $15 to $20. It's very expensive one way. Then but I mean, it's an option if that's what you're wanting to do. Then you could ride the bus. So the bus, I would download Google Maps or whatever map that you have on your phone, and there's an option there, a little bus sign that has for transportation. And so what you do is you put in your address, and do not get discouraged if you get lost, because there are a lot of bus routes here. I mean, they take you literally everywhere on the island. But the thing is that each number, like each route, could go different directions. So you really have to pay attention. If you're getting, let's say like me, I get on the 3 to go to work, but you have to go on the 3 that has the name that you're going. Otherwise, you could be going on a 3 and going a completely different direction. So on your map, it'll tell you board this train going eastbound, and this is the name. So you have to be careful with that. So the one time to get on the bus, it can cost you $2.75 for one ride, or you can get an all-day pass, which costs you $5.50, and it's unlimited amount of rides up until 2 or 3 in the morning. Or you can, if you are going to be here and that's going to be your major type, your type of transportation, you can also get a bus pass. So the bus pass costs about $75, which seems like a lot, to be honest, for a bus. But if that's going to be it for you, it's not bad at all. You can go up and down this island if you give yourself enough time with the bus, honestly. I will say that there are some sketchy parts where the bus can take you, like or the bus stops itself, and that's my experience with the bus. At the beginning, I was very lost. I was asking strangers how to get to and from places. People were kind enough to and there's this bus app called Dabus, where it's DABUS, and it's a map of you can look up on each post. Supposedly on each post, some are missing, but technically there's supposed to be a number that you can type in onto your phone using that app, and it will tell you what bus lines are getting there, when they're getting there, the real time of the arrival, and which bus line and which direction it's going. So that could be really helpful if you combine the Google map or the Maps navigation in the Bus app and combine it. You should be able to know where you're going, or at least have an idea of which bus line goes where. So my experience with the bus, the first time I got it at nighttime, I was completely lost. I just kept hearing major transport point, major transport point, and I said, okay, well, I have to get off on this bus. I have to get off on this bus, and I have to try and find which bus I'm on. Given it was nighttime, it was about 10:30, 10 o'clock, which the sun has already gone down. I'm by myself. I have some shopping bags because I'm trying to get settled in. And I am asking the bus driver, I need to get to this bus line. Where do I get off? So she tells me, just get off here. So I get off and I'm looking at my map and I'm looking at where I'm supposed to go. And I'm walking in what looks like The Walking Dead. Seriously. There were so many homeless people and people on drugs. I was literally scared for my life. So you have got to be very careful on where you are in the bus, which part of the city you were in. I was in Chinatown, where I had no idea. It's like their downtown of Honolulu. So I was in that area. I was completely afraid, and somebody should have maybe seen how scared I was. That they were on a bike and they asked me if I was okay, and I had to beg them, not beg them really because they were really nice. I had to tell them to please help me walk to the bus station. And I was so scared because the bus wasn't coming. It had already been like 8 minutes. And I was like, I can't keep having this person wait with me when they have somewhere to go probably. And there's like drug people. There's like screaming going on. It was just horrible. So I called an Uber and I ran. So that's the reason also why you have to come here a week before, so you can really kind of figure out the bus system. It will take you a few times, but after you find out how to do it, you will for sure know where and how to take the bus. You'll figure out how long it will take you. I would advise you, if you're coming to Hawaii, to Oahu specifically, to time yourself on how long it takes you at what times of the day. Because from 7 to 9 in the morning and from 5 to 7 rush hour time, no, from 3 to 7 here, it's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is very packed on the freeway. And there's three lanes, sometimes 4 lanes on the freeway, and it is gridlocked. So if that's the times that you're going to be going into work, you have to allow yourself maybe an hour to get to work, even if it's 4 miles away from your house. So just be aware. Also, now let's talk about the hospital. So I'm working at a trauma center. I'm not going to mention which one, but just realize that things are a little bit different here. It's called Hawaii Life or Island Life. So I was never in a hospital where they didn't do 12-hour shifts. I have heard of hospitals doing 8-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts, but not a mixture. I've also heard of day and night rotations, but I've never heard of some of the things that I've heard of here. And now I will know to put that into my contract for next time. So here they go off of 4-hour increments, 4-hour increments, like scheduling, I guess, where you could either work, most of the employees here work 40-hour work weeks. Their schedule starts from Sunday to Saturday, like most places do, but they do work 40 hours. Now, they can have you come in, the hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m., or you can come in 7:30 p.m. to 7 a.m., which is the typical day and night shifts. Or you could come in 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., which would be your 8-hour shift. Or you can come in from 11 a.m. It's just so many variations. You guys will literally get lost. You can come in at 3 in the morning to 7 a.m. You could come in from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can come in from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So you really have to try to put it into a contract that if you are going to be day and night rotation, if you can't get a solid yes you'll be nights or yes you'll be days, you at least should put into your contract that you want 12-hour shifts. That way it saves you from having, like me, this shifts, I have to do 8-hour shifts. In the next week I will be working six out of the 7 days. So because they managed to pull off some 8-hour shifts, some starting from Sundays, some 12-hour shifts, some 8-hour shifts, and it's just, technically it works out, but I will literally be at work the entire week and not get paid overtime or anything like that. So just be really diligent in what you put into your contract. So I hope I've given you enough to think about and enough information. I know it's a lot of information, but I just want to keep it fresh in my mind. It's not all negative. It's very, very exciting to be here. I feel like on your days off, there's so many things to do. And on the contrary of it being expensive, like how Hawaii has a reputation of being, it's actually, there's so many things to do for free here. It's kind of crazy. Like, I've never lived in a place where there's so many things to do for free and you can have a ball. I will share with you those types of things on my next video where it's less informational and more of the things like I've done on my time here. And with that, I'm going to say mahalo. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys are back for my next video. Bye.